Chicago Fire star Jocelyn Hudon shares hopes for a Law and Order SVU crossover with Olivia Benson. Chicago Fire wrapped up on Wednesday, May 21, alongside Med and PD, with all three set to return to NBC for the 2025 to 2026 broadcast season. The series is a look into the professional and personal lives of the firefighters and paramedics of Firehouse 51 as they risk their lives every day to save and protect the citizens of Chicago. Taylor Kinney, Miranda Ray Mayo, Dermot Mulroney, Hanako Greensmith, Jocelyn Hudon, Christian Stolt, Joe Mignoso, Daniel Curie, and Jake Lockett make up the main cast. Hudon plays paramedic Lila Novak, who first joined the procedural in Season 12, Episode 9, Something About Her. Hudon is most well known for her work on When Hope Calls, The Strain, Pexels, and The Order. She has also appeared in several other network series, such as ABC's 9 to 11 and The Rookie, Feds, NBC's The Irrational, and CBS Criminal Minds. I chatted with Jocelyn Hudon about what Ritter's exit means for Novak, her character's romance with Damon, and which character from the Dick Wolf universe she'd like to see in Chicago Fire. Jocelyn Hudon: I have no idea. But Novak is resilient, and she's resourceful, and I think she will figure it out. She might have a Rito episode where she's looking for somewhere to live again. I am sure she'll have a redo of that and try to find somewhere else to live. Or maybe she takes over the apartment. I don't know. I think Novak might be a roommate kind of girl, but I personally love living alone. Novak and Damon have a romance brewing, but they're keeping it casual. Do you have any specific hopes for that relationship? Jocelyn Hudon: I don't know, because he low-key broke up with her in one of the episodes, and then she's kind of still around. She's with him in the hospital. They're friends. He came over for dinner at her and Ritter's place, so I'm not exactly sure where that's going. And there are a bunch of fans also shipping Novak and Frost from Med, so I don't know what direction it's going to go. Do you have a team? Jocelyn Hudon: I don't have a team. I'm just excited to see the episodes and see where the writers take it. And I'm on board with whatever way they go. I love getting new episodes and being like, oh, okay, great. I love a goodwill they want their relationship, so I could see that for her and Damon. Jocelyn Hudon: I would love a drawn-out long situation where we try to figure it out. Jocelyn Hudon: I really hope we learn more about her past. I have a bunch of questions, and I think they did such a great job just making us all so curious about her background. And I would love to know more and where she came from, where she wants to go, what her story is and was. I am very curious as to what happened to her. I'd love to see more of her backstory. Is there a specific question that you have? One where you're like, I really want to know this about Novak, but the show hasn't told you yet. Jocelyn Hudon: Yeah, in episode 8, where there's a suicide, and she was very triggered by the suicide. I would like to know if that personally affected her. If it was her mom, or her dad, or someone close in her family, I would love to know. I just want to play that out because I think that must have been an early thing that happened in her life that made her become a paramedic. I just want to know more about that. And that's what makes her so great at her job, because I think a trauma affected her in real life. Did the writers give you any extra backstory when you booked the role of Novak? Jocelyn Hudon: Whatever they build onto it, I just perform it. When I auditioned for the role, it was Season 12, and I just had 2 big scenes. It was really well-rounded because we saw how fun and loose and wild she can be in light. And then we also saw how much she cares about her job and how empathetic and caring and seriously she takes her job and her coworkers. So I think that first episode where I joined, I think that gave me a lot to work with this character. It really gave me a well-rounded character. Jocelyn Hudon. Yes, I have too. I would love to do a water episode because I scuba dive. So I would love for there to be some kind of incident where they're like, we need a paramedic to go underwater. And I feel like, that's me. My time has come. Shove me in the water. I would love to do a water episode. I know they did one a few years ago, and everyone had a really great time doing that. And then I also would love for the ambulance to get robbed or held up. And I would love Violet and Novak to have to fight their way out of a robbery. In a twist that's igniting excitement across One Chicago and Law and Order fandoms alike, Chicago Fire star Jocelyn Hudon has voiced her passionate hopes for a crossover event that would bring the Windy City's first responders face-to-face with New York's most iconic SVU detective, Captain Olivia Benson. During a recent press junket for Season 13 of Chicago Fire, Hudon, who portrays paramedic Lila Novak, a character introduced last season with an already compelling backstory and a fierce dedication to justice, lit up at the mention of the possibility of a crossover. I would absolutely love to work with Mariska Hargitay, Hudon said, her eyes gleaming with admiration. She's such a powerhouse, and Olivia Benson is a legend. I grew up watching her bring compassion and strength to every scene. If Layla ever got the chance to team up with Olivia, I think it would be electric. A collision of strength and justice. Hudon envisions a scenario where Lila, always digging deeper than most paramedics might, uncovers clues during a domestic violence, call that point to a larger trafficking operation. Lila's not the type to just hand things off and walk away, Hudon explained. She'd want to stay involved to protect the victim and make sure the whole picture gets uncovered. Enter Olivia Benson. I imagine Lila reaching out through interdepartmental channels, desperate for help, Hudon teased. Maybe someone in the CPD has a connection in the NYPD, and Olivia flies in, just for a couple of days, to help take down a multi-city trafficking ring. The idea is more than a fan wish. It reflects Hudon's ongoing interest in meaningful storytelling. Her character, Lila, has already become a fan favorite on Chicago Fire thanks to her combination of medical skill, grit, and empathy. With a past that hints at personal experience with trauma, Lila is uniquely poised to resonate with the kind of survivor-centered cases SVU is known for. From Firehouse 51 to the Squad Room. One of Hudon's biggest hopes is that such a crossover would showcase both the similarities and contrasts between Lila and Benson. They're both protectors in different ways, she said. Olivia uses her voice, her authority, and her incredible intuition. Lila works in the immediate aftermath, stabilizing people, talking them down, being the first safe face they see. I think there's a lot they could learn from each other. She envisions scenes where the two women work a case side by side, perhaps late at night, comparing notes in the hospital waiting room, or confronting a suspect who thinks he's outsmarted the system. Can you imagine them in an interrogation room together? Hudon asked, laughing. That guy wouldn't stand a chance. But Hudon isn't only thinking about intense drama. She also hopes for a few moments of levity and warmth. Maybe Olivia gets invited to dinner at Molly's, she mused. I think the Chicago team would have so much respect for her. There's this beautiful camaraderie in both shows, and seeing that overlap would just be a dream come true. A shared mission. Hudon's interest in a crossover isn't just about character chemistry. It's about highlighting shared themes. Both Chicago Fire and SVU focus on survivors, on hope, resilience, and community, she said. A crossover could do more than just thrill audiences. It could say something important about justice and healing. She added that viewers are hungry for these emotionally driven stories. People don't just want explosions and action. They want to feel. They want to see people standing up for each other. That's what Olivia Benson has always represented, and that's what Lila is trying to become. Hudon has been actively engaging with fans online about the idea, even retweeting a few speculative mashup trailers made by TikTok editors. "They're so creative," she said. And honestly, some of those edits had me convinced this was already in the works.